What is up, everyone? Welcome to the Underdog Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Nolan Skeen, alongside Antonio Fiore, Sal Lestrina. Gentlemen, how are we doing?
What's up, guys?
How we doing?
Opposite sides of the couch.
Yeah.
This weird.
Yeah, we switched it around.
As you can all
I should
see.
have sat in the other corner or something.
Yeah, or just like in a different room.
Oh, that would be weird. So tonight we are going to talk about the conference championship games.
No games this
Obviously.
upcoming weekend.
No game.
Pro
Well,
Bowl.
the Pro Bowl.
The Pro Bowl does not count as a game.
We're going to talk about the NFL draft because there's an interesting thing going on with the draft we'll talk about later.
Whoever did it deserves a raise.
Yes. Derek Jeter got into the Hall of Fame. We'll discuss that a little bit. And we'll discuss the Celtics versus the Lakers the other night because I feel it was an interesting matchup.
Braun got yammed on.
LeBron got yammed on.
And
he always does that.
There was a
when he goes to
bullshit
TD Garden.
technical called against it, but we can talk about that after.
It's
Alright.
worth it.
So we're starting with the NFL.
I want to start off with the Packers, damn.
Okay.
Aaron Rodgers is the most overrated quarterback maybe
Shit.
of all time.
Literal shit.
He's 1-3 in NFC championship games. People want to say he can lead his team to this and that, and he's the greatest thrower of the ball, and he's the most talented quarterback ever, and this and that. All right, well, when you're constantly getting blown out in NFC championship games and you've only won one Super Bowl with a team that puts weapons around you more seasons than not, I just can't get behind that. Someone said, would you rather have Favre or Rodgers? And going back to it, I'm not going to say I would take Favre over Rodgers, but it's a lot closer than it should be with Rodgers' talent. So I just was not impressed by Rodgers at all. And the biggest play of that game was when it's 17-0 and they're going down the field and Rodgers fumbles and then blames it on the center. I know it was both their faults, but someone's just got to do something better in that situation.
He never seems to take the blame either.
Yeah, I was going to say, you can't just go ahead and throw the blame on someone else.
He's
either.
always mad.
You're the quarterback. You gotta take the fall for that. You're the leader of that entire team.
He's always mad at his teammates. I've noticed that a lot, especially lately, like the last 5 seasons.
He drove Mike McCarthy out of there.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's always mad at his coaching staff too.
Yeah,
He's like the LeBron of football.
And that's been the criticism
He really
of
is.
him, is that he just never is like he always has to have the comfortable way, and he'll never go to the extra mile to really try to win a game, and he'll never take the blame for it. So I think he's responsible for that loss. Honestly, it's he just couldn't step up and when it mattered the most.
And people can say, "Oh, well, the defense gave up 37." Also, something that plays a huge part in the final score of the game for the other team is 1 turnovers. And how long do you have the ball for? Are you taking advantage of having the ball? Which 20 points isn't showing me that you took great advantage of the ball. I mean, it just shows me that you were average today, which they do that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I look at Green Bay's score, week in and week out, it's always around 20,
23.
25 in between, I don't know, one of those. They never really showed anyone anything this year. And I think, with me picking them to win last week, I was hoping they would pop. I thought maybe that, they had a chance against a team that they got shit on earlier in the year. Hopefully that was going to give them motivation, but nope. Rodgers just looked sluggish. The way he always talks looks sluggish, like he doesn't really care. San Francisco is just a team that's really good at everything. And looking back at the whole year, I know San Francisco has, there were parts in the season where everyone was questioning them, and rightfully so, because they didn't have the toughest schedule throughout the first part of the season. But after they got to that 10th, 11th win, I think it's been easy to say that they've far and away been the best team in the NFC. And, without Baltimore in the Super Bowl, I think it's easy to say they've been the best team in football this year.
You have an expansion draft, and you say you're the GM of a team, okay? You have the choice of Aaron Rodgers, Dak Prescott, right now to start your team.
So right now we're talking age 36 Aaron Rodgers
versus Dak Prescott.
Give me Dak Prescott.
Really?
Yeah, I'd say Dak Prescott too.
Aaron's 36, man. People forget that all the time. I obviously think Aaron Rodgers is way better than Dak Prescott, especially all time, but we're talking future here. If I'm starting a franchise, I want a guy that's going to last me a few years.
So how long do we think Rodgers lasts for?
honestly, like I don't. He definitely can't last the way that.
Like a Brady last.
No, I don't think so.
So
I
realistic.
give him 40, 41.
I was gonna say realistically, what does he have left? 3 years.
Yeah,
I'd say 3 years.
yeah, it's probably like 4.
Does Green
I
Bay
think
start?
I
Started
mean,
with 40.
he's had some injuries, so like if he gets hurt either next year or the year after,
They might just say goodbye. Do you start looking for a new quarterback for them? Like I know it's you just went to an NFC Championship game.
Maybe they should start looking at like younger kids in college right now. Maybe for like years ahead. Definitely not for this coming year, because they won't. Even if they should, they
Also,
they
if
definitely
they
won't,
drafted one this year and they wanted Aaron to groom a new quarterback, you would not be down with that at this.
No.
this
Oh,
point.
100%.
Maybe when he's 40.
No, he wouldn't.
But right
do it.
now, he'd have a terrible attitude.
Aaron
about it.
Rodgers has too much ego and self pride.
Well,
So
remember
really
when
does have a lot
Pittsburgh
of-
brought in when Pittsburgh drafted Mason Rudolph? Big Ben was pissed.
yeah, but then it proved out to be. I'm not going to say key, but like all right, Ben got hurt. They kind of foresaw the future at that point.
which Ben gets hurt almost every year. It seems like
That's all right. Kind of going off topic. I think that team could be really good next year.
I do
the
too.
Steelers.
If you you put Ben back on that offense, and like, all right, Deontay Johnson showed you something. You had who's the other kid? I mean, obviously you had Juju.
Washington.
Yeah, James
Washington.
Washington's pretty good.
All three of them as a with Ben airing out the ball, and then the defense that they had last
I mean,
year.
Washington had some
Very,
flashes
very good
last
defense.
season too.
I wonder what their division odds are going to be, because I would imagine Baltimore's obviously the favorite, and I would think people would be high on the Browns still. And the Bengals with Joe Burrow, I'm not going to say that they're higher than the Steelers, but
Maybe a 6-10 team.
right. So
Yeah,
I don't know what the
definitely not
Steelers.
higher.
I would bet Steelers NFC North next year. Honestly,
Yeah, no, this previous season, I was insanely confident because everyone was on the Browns. I was so confident the Steelers are winning that division because, they're playing underdog for the first time. Big Ben getting hurt, obviously, put a huge dent in that. I think they're going to be really good next year, though.
But
I
here's
do
the
agree
thing:
with you.
I don't know if Big Ben can stay healthy, because like he at times is kind of like Jameis Winston, where he just yucks it down the field and has no regard whether he gets picked or not. And there are games where he throws 4 or 5 interceptions. He always has at least 1 or 2 games in the season where he.
You know what I'll
throws a
give
lot.
Ben as opposed to Jameis? When he's got to lock in and have a drive, Ben is able to lock in and lead the team down the field. Like
But a lot of that is coaching and offensive schemes too.
you know, I think a lot of it.
Yeah, but he's not going to throw like 3-4 picks in a playoff game.
Right. I think a lot of it is just like he's been in the playoffs since his rookie year. Like he's been in the spotlight. Like he knows how it works. Like Jameis's problem is he doesn't have the reps. Like he's had seasons where he's gotten pulled halfway through the year or gotten hurt or whatever. Like Ben just has the consistency over however many years he's been doing it, where I feel like that team next year could definitely make a run deep.
Yeah. So like
I like it. I mean, we talked about this division the past couple weeks to where we think it'll be really competitive.
it all comes down to Big Ben at the end of the day. If he can,
Yes, indeed.
if he can, because I mean,
Baltimore beat Pittsburgh twice this year, right?
Yeah.
Ooh, they're gonna be out for revenge next year.
I mean, they got a lot of stuff in between them now with the whole Myles Garrett thing. So that's going to be interesting.
They hate the whole
next few
division,
years.
and then Burrow and Cincinnati too.
they
could be a
hate
little
the whole
sneaky.
division.
That's one of the best divisions when it comes to like interdivision rivals.
Oh yeah, like when the Bengals were. I'll use the word good. I mean, they were getting to the
They were
playoffs.
playoffs.
They were
Yeah.
when the Bengals were playoff caliber. Those games between Pittsburgh and the Bengals were really entertaining. Pittsburgh won all of them, but they were gritty and they wanted to literally go out there and murder each other, and it was great. That's how that division works.
Back to Aaron though. I just can't believe how underwhelming he's been in a lot of these big moments. Like he lost that 45 to I don't even know what the score that they had against Atlanta that one year.
45-17 or no,
They barely put up
20 something. I don't know.
They barely put up any points in those games, and then they had 20 last game, but it was basically all in garbage time.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you can't be asking Aaron Rodgers to score 40 every game. I think it's fair to put equally the amount of blame on
the defense
and Aaron, because Aaron's got to score points too.
But it's like in these games, he's
Gotta
not
keep
even
the defense
competitive.
off the field.
Right, he's not even competitive at that point. What was the only game he's won in an NFC Championship game?
Also, too, they didn't score a point in the first half.
Right, that's all right.
Garbage.
That is insane when you have Aaron Rodgers as your
And
quarterback.
San Fran only had 7 in the first quarter. it was the second quarter that they really started to go off, but it was like at that point Green Bay probably had 3 or 4 drives that just ended in nothing.
Well, I'm not going to say their problem, but like kind of a tone setter in that game was their first drive. They got San Francisco off the field in 3 plays. Punt. They got like 2 or 3 first downs. They have a 4th and 1 at the 50, and they had the offense on the field for a second. And if they go for that and they get it, that changes the whole not like momentum of the game, but like you kind of set the tone, like you're the aggressor and like you're like dictating the pace at that point. When you go on punt, you're kind of like, I'm not going to say you have to go for it there, but it's a ballsy spot to go for it there. And if you get it, it pays off. So I'm not going to second guess like LaFleur or anything, but I thought about going for it there, especially with the offense out there for a little bit.
I hear you.
What did you think of the game, Antonio?
I was rooting for Green Bay. I'm not mad at all that San Francisco won. I think they've, like I said, earlier, they've shown pretty much everyone that they've been the most well-rounded team in football by far this year.
All season. They've done it all consistently all season.
A lot of people doubted them in the first 5 or 6 games.
I doubted them,
including us.
I doubted them up until that Carolina game.
I doubted them until I was able to see them, or until I was able to watch them on TV.
Mm-hmm.
Then I was convinced.
Yeah, and I think it was just based on their ease of their schedule, and then like when they started playing real teams and winning. I think when they played Seattle the first time and went to overtime, and Seattle squeezed out a win somehow, I think that was when people were like, the Niners are for real.
I think when they really got their stripes was the Saints game. I think everyone saw them do that.
That showed that they could play shootout. That was huge.
So I don't know. I think all season they've just been, I'm not going to say head and shoulders above everyone, but they've been consistently
they can play
one of the best
so
teams.
many different ways.
They can play whatever way you need to in order
and
to
people
win.
are saying, well, like they just pound the football with the 3-headed monster that they have. Jimmy can throw the ball too.
People pretend like he can't.
They got Deebo Samuels, they got Emmanuel Sanders, they got George Kittle who can catch the ball.
Deebo's going to be
George Kittle can literally play anywhere, except anywhere except quarterback. And who knows, he probably could still play that too. But like they have offensive weapons, and I think nobody kind of realized that aspect of it. They're always just like, ooh, Matt Breida, ooh, Tevin Coleman, Mostert, which Mostert really didn't really explode onto the scene until like late in the season. I think when he started getting more carries, because was Matt Breida banged up?
Breida? Well, so Breida was banged up first, and then Coleman got banged up, and then Mostert got his opportunity in like week 10 or week 11.
Yeah, and he showed that he really has some talent there. So
it's kind of demoralizing too if you're like the Packers defense and you're supposed to be like this revamped unit and re-energized, and they just got the ball pounded down their throat over and over again. The San Francisco went a quarter and a half without throwing the ball in a playoff game.
Great Bay can play the pass. There's no question about that going throughout the year.
And that's why I harp back to that 4th and 1 call. If you're up 7-0 as opposed to down in the game, you set the tone. And you made Jimmy have to throw it. And maybe that's a little uncomfortable.
And I think maybe they got a little scared a little bit because of they thought like the team that they're playing, they were like, wow, the 49ers defense is really good. Are we able to run it with Aaron Jones on 4th and 1 and get it? I don't think you can. You got to be creative at that point.
The thing is, you lost the last game 34-7 or something like that.
38 to whatever.
You know, there's a large gap between like you and this team. Like you're gonna have to like take some chances, take some risks. Like you can't play.
I didn't see Aaron do much of that.
You can't play not to every yard. It's 2 yards past the line of scrimmage, 1 yard past the line of scrimmage, behind the line of scrimmage. It's like he doesn't really throw it like he not like he used to, but he doesn't throw like 15, 20 yards down the field consistently.
No. You know what I didn't see from him that I think has been missing a little bit, and I think it's ever since he got hurt the second time. The mobility, the ability to roll out and extend the plays. I haven't really seen him do that very much.
I mean, he is getting older, so I don't know how.
Even like scrambling for a few yards when the play breaks down, like I haven't seen that either.
Everyone forgets how old he is, and I feel like that's also due to everyone just around, just kind of waiting for him to pop and break out again and win. Just win in general some more, and he hasn't done that. He got that first Super Bowl, and everyone's like, here they come. Here's Green Bay. Aaron's going to win a bunch of Super Bowls. And it's just every year, it's just waiting around. All right, is this going to be the year? Nope. Is this going to be the year? Nope. Aaron got hurt this year. What about next year? At this point, it's just kind of
It's a pretty disappointing career, honestly. If he doesn't win another one, and he only ends up with one.
I know. It would be one just like Brett Favre.
Yep.
History repeats itself.
Because they won in, what was it, 2010?
11. Yeah, no, 10.
The 2010
They
season.
went 10 and
was-
6. Then they won as a wild card. I'm not
They were
sure if they
6.
won the division. They were a 6 seed.
They were 6.
I thought so.
And they beat Atlanta, the Giants, and someone else, maybe the Saints, on their
So,
way
I mean,
there.
That's 10 years ago now, so. Aaron, where you at, buddy?
They also didn't take advantage of when they went 15-1 and
So
got
your
their
thing is, so
shit
he's 36
kicked at
now. He was
Lambeau in
26 when
2011.
he won. He got drafted in, what, 2005?
Yep.
It took him 5 years. He sat behind Favre for 3 years. So 2 years as a starter, he wins the Super Bowl.
Kind of like Patrick Mahomes, maybe.
Maybe. That's what I was getting to. It's kind of this parody, but I mean,
Hopefully he is a better
Mahomes
than
was
Rodgers.
Mahomes was behind Alex Smith though.
I mean,
Yeah, but
people want to talk
Favre
bad
was
about
also-
Alex Smith.
Favre
Alex
was
Smith,
also reluctant.
Alex Smith was a solid NFL
He is a
quarterback.
solid
He was,
quarterback.
but he was no Brett Favre.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, wherever he goes, he wins. When he was starting for the Redskins last year, they were in first place until he got hurt.
That's true. They were really good until he got
Mhm.
hurt. A lot of people forget about that, but I
He
mean,
just wins wherever he goes.
Then he got thighs wound.
Yes, he did. Same line, same yard line, and everything.
That's insane. If you want to talk about the simulation, like if anything's a simulation, that play is the simulation. The same yard line that it happened to Joe Theismann.
that's
Wasn't it the
crazy.
same?
Wild.
No, wasn't it like the same time or the same date too? It was something weird.
I think it was the same day.
It-
there was something along.
It
with
was
that
the same.
too.
It was 30 years later. It was like 30 or 35 years later after it happened to Theismann on the same yard line. Okay,
They don't retire. Hold on. They don't retire numbers in football, right?
they do.
Do they?
I think so.
I don't think they.
They put him in the
Dude.
Ring of Honor. Does that
No,
mean that
they don't retire.
They don't.
Alex Smith might be the same number. Hold on.
As Joe Theismann. That's
He was
funny.
12, right?
So Alex Smith is number 11.
11.
Is Theismann 11? That would be weird.
Just Antonio's just grinning over
He's
there.
gonna look up and he's gonna.
Oh,
say,
he's number 7. Okay.
that would have been
Oh.
weird.
But look
But yeah,
up.
it was
Look
on
up.
like the same day or something like that.
Look up if it was the same day. Like say Alex Smith, Joe Theismann injury
Comparison.
See if it- comparison, whatever. See what comes up. That's crazy though. I mean, Alex Smith. I saw like a video of him like working out again or
Yeah,
whatever,
he was
running.
trying to come back, and I still think he might be, but I don't really know how smart that is.
It might be too. He might be too old now to like come back from something like that.
Imagine rehabbing from that.
Oh, okay. Freak tackle by J.J. Watt, someone who's one of the best defensive players of our generation.
Lawrence Taylor.
Lawrence Taylor was the one who got him.
Oh my god.
This guy won an MVP and multiple defensive player of the years. Lawrence Taylor did the same thing. And right at the 40-yard line. The only other 3-time defensive player of the year, J.J. Watt.
to
And
tackle
the
him.
only other one besides J.J. Watt was Lawrence Taylor.
That's
That's
funny.
crazy. And it was separated by only 2 days.
Oh,
I thought it was on the anniversary 2 days later.
But
That's-
it was 30 years.
that's creepy.
the simulation cell.
It's real.
It's real.
It's real. That proves it.
All right, so let's go to the Kansas City game because the way that
The
game
Derrick Henry Express. Just
the way that game started was I was like, wow, this is literally the Baltimore game all over again.
It was
And
a good game in the first half.
I think the difference was if they go down and score a touchdown instead of a field goal, I think it changes a little bit because then they're up because Kansas City got a touchdown late in the first quarter. So if they go up 14-7 after the first quarter, that's tough. But like 10-7 isn't as bad because then like Kansas City explodes, which they always
That's
do.
what they do.
I think the biggest play in the game, or at least the biggest setup plays, was 4 minutes left. It's 17-7.
It ended up being 17-7.
And Tennessee has the ball with about 4 minutes left, 3.5 minutes left ish, and Kansas City gets the ball in the second half. So you do not want Kansas City to get the ball before half and then to start the second half. and they went 3 and out. They got a 3rd and 1, and then it ended up being, I want to say, a holding penalty to make it 3rd and 11. And then I think they had a scramble, 4th and 4, and then they punted it back to Mahomes. And that's when Mahomes had that unreal juke 20-something yard run down the left sideline.
He was their
Crazy.
team's leading rusher.
I was like,
I don't know
how do you not tackle
I was going to say,
him?
I don't know how someone on the Titans defense doesn't tackle him.
He doesn't have overwhelming speed. And, like, I know that he, like, scrambles a lot and gets out, but he doesn't, like, I don't know. I think that was a terrible defensive breakdown by the Titans.
I feel like you don't really expect him to run either. Like, not like he doesn't run, but, like, you're way more worried about him chucking the ball than you are him, scrambling around.
It's not like Lamar Jackson where you like, are anticipating him running. And I think, too, like what you said, it was 17-7. So I think if they score that touchdown, it's 21-7. So that's a whole different story.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan Tannehill threw for more yards than the combined amount of his past 2 playoff games.
That's another thing, too. Ryan Tannehill didn't play bad.
Touchdowns. No, he didn't play bad.
Max Kellerman said that Ryan Tannehill is an upgrade to Tom Brady right now.
No.
They were
Max Kellerman, dude. I never take what Max Kellerman says seriously.
I don't need to comment on that.
So Stephen Smith said that Tennessee would be a good option for Brady. And thinking about it, I kind of like that.
I saw that Pat McAfee said that Andrew Luck would come out of retirement to go to the Patriots.
Cannot do that because the Colts have his rights.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking, too. I was like, I don't think that's possible, but
that would be a big finesse.
Whatever it is, just to get the clicks and everything.
Belichick puts his hood on. And he's like,
Belichick will make it happen somehow. He would call up what's his face, Grigson, and be like, he would just say some like Bill Belichick shit.
Yeah, he'd be like, oh, "Come on, trust me, this guy's not coming back."
Does he just like have a private investigator that follows people around and he blackmails them?
Most likely. Oh, you know what? I watched last night. This was awesome. I don't know if you guys have HBO. It's called The Art of Coaching, Belichick and Saban.
I watched that.
Oh, my God. It was so good.
I haven't seen that.
Yeah.
You love it.
Yeah.
It's got film of there's literally film of quarterback meetings between Brady and Belichick, just them sitting there watching film. And just everything else, the way they coach and their history together. It's really good.
One of the best videos I've seen of Belichick and Brady talking was it was right before one of the Ravens games, and they were talking about like Ed Reed and how he lines up all over the field and stuff. I thought that was pretty cool. So that's probably kind of like along the lines of
yeah. I think that was included in there.
That's awesome.
It's
but
real
like
good.
To hear him and Saban talk, and then like they go through the whole backstory of how Saban was coaching at all these colleges, and then they ended up meeting together, coaching in the Browns, and then him coaching for the Giants, and then eventually working his way to the Patriots, and then Nick Saban leaving to go coach to Alabama, and how they both just have exploded ever since.
And they coached together. Not together, against each other. Belichick was 2-2 against Saban.
Yeah, when he coached in Miami after
LSU.
After LSU, and then he got a coaching job at Miami. Didn't do bad either.
Speaking of LSU, is there any way the Bengals trade the number 1 overall pick?
I thought they said no.
Do we think they should?
To who?
I don't know. Burrow. I know Burrow and his dad.
What would
the
other team have to give up for the Bengals to say yes to that, though?
All right, so the hypotheticals I've heard thrown out there are Cam Newton and like 4 first-round picks.
That's everything, though.
Which, like, if you're the Panthers, obviously, I think you have to do that. But at the same time, like, if you're the Bengals...
The Bengals are dumb to take that, though.
4 first-rounders?
Like, 4 first-round picks. Like, say that... I don't know what the Panthers have this year, but it's probably, like, 7 or, like, 10, 7 through 10. And then they...
So, like, obviously you have to offload Andy Dalton. So where does he go?
No, people are saying New England for him, and I don't get that.
No. That would be retarded. Like, if for the Panthers...
For the Panthers to give that up is retarded, and for the Bengals to pass up on Joe Burrow.
No, for the Panthers to give that up, that is not retarded.
Yes, it is, because what if they suck either way next year and you have Trevor Lawrence coming?
What if Joe Burrow is the best quarterback like he's supposed to be, like he's touted to be?
I think a lot of those teams are thinking like tanking next year for Trevor Lawrence. I think that's what a lot of teams are thinking.
Okay, but you have someone in this draft who literally had the best college season of all time. And who has proven himself that he can make almost every throw on the board, in tight windows, moving right, moving left, scrambling. He's the complete package.
Oh, I know that. I'm not saying anything against Burrow. I just The Panthers. I mean,
There's
you're
only
going
one
to give
team-
up 4
there's a-
first rounders. You're going to suck this year anyway.
But you have your quarterback. That's the whole thing you need. That's the whole point of this.
Yeah, but you can get your quarterback without giving away 4 first round picks
not everyone can get Trevor Lawrence. That's the thing.
if they try hard enough.
Yeah, but if they just go with the flow and suck again next year, they'll be.
Are they gonna go?
What if the Panthers try
they-
hard enough to make this trade and they can? Another team does it.
Because you have Joe Burrow with the Bengals next season. They're not going to be first in the draft the following season. They're going to get wins with Joe Burrow.
All right, so say someone instead gave up like number 3 and a couple like 2 more picks. So then the Bengals to draft Chase Young and then try to get up and move up for Tua. So say they could get Chase Young and Tua over Joe Burrow.
You know who I
Or Justin
think-
Herbert.
Or Justin
Justin
Herbert.
Herbert's in the draft.
So
Don't
would you
forget that.
would you rather that over Joe Burrow?
No, but I don't think it's not too shabby of a pick if
You know
you
where
can
I
get
think
Herbert.
Joe Burrow would probably do really good? Miami. Miami could give up that and then get Joe Burrow, I think.
Well, yeah, they have a stockpile of picks.
From who they traded away. They
Yeah.
traded away Kenyon Drake for.
Well, they got Houston's first. They got
Okay, so is Rosen just done in the NFL?
Did they get
pretty much.
the Cardinals first with
no, they got like the Cardinals 4th for Drake or 3rd or something like that.
Because I thought
wow,
Rosen had
that's-
promise. I thought
Yeah,
he was doing
I
pretty
thought
good.
Rosen had promise too.
He's just been surrounded by crap.
I don't
that
really
he's been
know
on.
what his deal is.
I mean, I thought the Cardinals had a promising future with them, and then they're like, Kyler Murray?
Yeah,
And Kyler Murray comes in, they freaking kick him to the curb.
he
did you
hasn't.
see Kyler Murray's quote the other day?
No, what was it?
He said, "I would love to be a 2-sport athlete."
What, you think he's going to go play baseball?
No, I don't think he's gonna play baseball, but I think he realized how big the paydays are in the MLB and said, like, "Why am I risking CTE and concussions?"
That's what
and all
I
this
always
stuff?
thought. Like, when that was going on, I was like, I would go play
The
baseball.
smart business decision is to go be in the MLB, but
Oh
like,
yeah, he's got.
But did he think he
spent
just
a lot
wasn't
of time
good
in the
enough?
minors,
Like-
though. That's the one thing. I don't know if he wants to do that.
'Cause
yeah,
I don't
you
know-
don't.
I don't know
That's the
how
other
good-
thing. If you're in the MLB, you literally have to spend like 2.5, 3 years in the minors before you even do anything. So does he want to ride the bus?
He was thinking about that too. Like, the year that he had this year, like, it put him in the spotlight. And, like, he wouldn't be having that if he went to the MLB. He'd be playing for...
He'd be playing for AA like Scranton.
Yeah, and if he didn't have that crazy Heisman season last year, he was probably going to play baseball. Everyone thought he was going to play baseball anyway because
right up until the
And
draft.
I mean, I've never seen him play baseball, so I don't know how
he's
good
supposed
he-
to be. He got drafted in the first round of the MLB.
Yeah,
draft.
he was going to Oakland, right? The
Yep.
Oakland A's. Didn't he, like, meet with them and was, like, gonna
I'm sure-
do it?
I'm
and then
sure
was
he's
like,
going to
nah.
spring
They had a
training.
contract signed, or like almost signed, and then like
yeah,
he just
I'm sure he's going to go to spring training. Russell Wilson's gone to spring training every year for baseball when the Rangers had the rights
Texas,
to
yeah.
him and now the Yankees have the rights to him. I'm pretty sure he had a home run last year or something.
that's funny.
So, I mean, the door's always open.
We got super sidetracked from the Chiefs game.
Yeah, we did.
Um,
Patrick Mahomes.
just probably the best quarterback talent we've ever seen, and I know it's 2 years in, but like no one makes the throws Patrick Mahomes does.
No, that's just a taller, bigger, stronger Aaron Rodgers,
like
who's hopefully going to win some more.
Rodgers made like crazy throws, but Mahomes just is like
Mahomes took it to another level.
he's just he really is just on another level. And the crazy part is like you could see him doing. I'm not going to say what Tom Brady has done, but maybe like he could win 4 or 5 Super Bowls easily.
Yeah, and that's what a lot of people were saying. Like, is this the passing of the torch for the next dynasty, which
Could
would be
be.
the Kansas City Chiefs?
Quite possibly.
That would piss me off because I don't like Kansas City Chiefs. I like Andy Reid though, and I'm glad that he's finally getting his second crack at it. But like, man, I don't like them. I don't like that team.
They're a little cocky. They're a little full of themselves.
I think, and I'll give Patrick Mahomes credit. I think last year he was a lot full of himself. I think losing the AFC Championship game really
Humbled
kind of
him.
humbled him a little bit, and he came back this year with a totally different attitude.
I think the injury scared him too.
Yeah, in the injury thing. So I think he became a really big like team guy. Like, 'cause remember last year there was like stories coming out that he would like bicker at teammates and like say shit at practice and everything. So I think he's become a lot more humble, and I think that I give him credit for that because like that's not an easy thing to do.
Definitely.
Check your ego at the door.
It's going to be a great Super Bowl. And I say that as a Patriots fan who obviously wants the Patriots being there, but this is going to be one hell of a game.
Did you see some crazy stat? It was like I saw it the other day. This the first time in 7 years that either C.J. Anderson or LeGarrette Blount is not in the Super Bowl. Because LeGarrette Blount went there with three or four times. C.J. Anderson went there 3 times.
That's
twice
awesome. I love C.J. Anderson.
Was it Denver?
Denver twice.
And then,
Rams once, and then Blount was with the Patriots
and the Eagles.
And then the Eagles.
Yeah, that is crazy. The last 7 years, either C.J. Anderson.
I love C.J. Anderson. That was awesome last year when the Rams signed him, and then they just started giving him carries in that playoff game against the Cowboys, and he was going off against them. That was so cool.
So the 40
was tubby too,
right?
That's what everyone was saying about him. He was tubby. But then when Todd Gurley was like, "Ooh, my pussy hurts," and he was like, "Yeah,"
and then CJ took over. The 49ers are going to be the home team, so they have to wear white, right? I think that's what is kind of.
I was thinking about this the other day, right? So like when Kansas City won, I was like, "Well, Green Bay has to win now. Like they're not going to have red on red." And I was like, But then I was like, "Oh, well, San Fran can wear white because what is Kansas City's other?"
They have a white jersey.
Their aways are white.
Oh, okay.
It's always white with the outlined in yellow.
Yep, they have a white away.
Or the numbers are outlined in yellow. I'm pretty sure they have yellow stripes too. Well, I don't know. The white might have the red stripes.
For some reason, I could
shirt.
not picture it. And
Hold on. I got it. White.
The aways are white though.
KC.
Look.
Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah.
It's just like the regular white and then the red numbers and the
For whatever reason, I just could not
little bit of yellow outline.
think of it. But yeah, I like San Fran's whites way better than Kansas City's.
Kansas City's reds are very nice. I'd prefer those over the San Francisco reds.
So I don't think it matters if you're home or away though. Which jersey you
in like the last like 17 Super Bowls, the team that's worn white is like 14-3 or something like that.
I remember they said that they had that stat up when the Patriots against Atlanta.
Yep.
You know,
weren't they wearing whites against the Rams?
I believe so. Yeah, they were.
So that's twice that the Patriots have won wearing whites.
They lost the Eagles Super Bowl wearing white though. That was the only one that they lost.
So up until like last year, there was always it seemed like that whoever won the NFL MVP was getting the Super Bowl every year. You know, Brady when they played the Eagles, and then Matt Ryan, Cam Newton, and every year I heard the storyline of, well, the MVP hasn't won the Super Bowl and blah 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 blah. But when the Patriots played the Eagles and Brady won the MVP that year, I didn't hear a thing about that. And when Matt Ryan won the MVP the year before that, that is all I heard before the Super Bowl.
You know what I was thinking the whole second half of the 49ers game? Kyle Shanahan was the offensive coordinator when they were up 28-3. And I'm not going to say at any moment you thought that the 49ers were going to lose, but it was like...
I don't think he's doing that again.
Oh, no, I know, but it was like...
You can't put it all on him though.
They were down. They were down 14 points, and at one point there was like a smidge of hope for the Packers, and I was like, "That would be crazy."
Like you can't put because obviously,
that part of the game.
Obviously, we'll never see anything like that again in a Super Bowl, like the 28-3 thing. And so much had to go right for the Patriots in order for that to happen. Like you're talking about the two-point conversions, the Hightower fumble. The only thing that was really bad that they shouldn't have done was when they were down at like the 35.
And they got a holding.
They got a holding, and then Matt Ryan got sacked because they were trying to throw it twice instead of just running it and then kicking a field goal. So that was the only thing that I think they screwed up on.
Yeah, that pretty much blew the game.
But it was like
teams can make a run at like
Matt
a big
Ryan,
margin.
You have Matt Ryan and Julio Jones. Honestly, in hindsight, it looks like a bad mistake.
But you're going to take your chances more times than
Julio
not.
But come on, at the time when Matt Ryan and Julio Jones that year were like the two top
Julio
players.
catch might be the best catch I've ever seen.
So I can't really blame Kyle Shanahan for losing the 28-3 Super Bowl.
The other funny prop I saw was Gatorade bath. What color will the Gatorade bath be? And thinking about it, like, why wouldn't it be red, right? Both teams are like wearing red uniforms. I could see that, honestly.
I don't know.
But like, what doesn't it like? Don't they drink it too?
Yeah, like the equipment.
I feel like
guy, whoever takes care of the color Gatorade. Do you think they're going to say we're the 49ers and we wear red.
I feel like that kind of goes with the whole thing, no? Like the whole like mantra of the
I don't
game.
think so.
I don't know. Like, do you
it's
think
usually either like yellow or purple.
Yellow was so purple is like way down there, like the last one.
I'll take purple then.
Plus
I
1400.
don't know, man.
All right, so I'll take purple.
I just
then.
don't think, a
Yellow
team,
was the favorite.
I don't think a team coach is sitting there,
I don't think a team coach is sitting
whenever,
there, but the water. What else
Jerry,
does the water boy have
Jerry
to
the
do?
water boy, and the coach is like, hey, Jerry, make sure we got red water today.
I think it's Jerry the water boy's decision to decide what color. That is how you done on the inside. You call Jerry the water boy and ask him what color the Gatorade bath is.
Find out who the water boy is for each team and call him up and ask. And if they both say the same color, you're winning money.
Imagine if one of them told you like, "Hey, I'm doing yellow," and then it was like purple, and you were like, "Wow."
Yeah,
Wow.
that would mean that everyone's calling this kid.
They must be like sworn to secrecy.
Was that an actual prop that you can bet on?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Like, that is crazy. Imagine going up and walking up to the cashier of the sports book, being like,
Yeah,
give
can I
me
get 20 on
100 on
yellow?
the purple Gatorade bath. Like, I'd be like, fuck off. I'd be like, you are a degenerate. Come on, just give me 100 on the purple Gatorade bath.
I love how it's plus 1400 for a purple Gatorade bath. Like what?
I feel like it's always purple though. No, it's either purple or yellow.
I don't know. Riptide Rush is pretty good.
I feel like it's yellow a lot of times.
Yeah.
Or blue.
I don't know if
you'd have
I
the
ever-
occasional like blue. I feel like.
See,
feel
you
like
guys
I
call
never
it
see
yellow
it red.
Gatorade, or you guys call that one yellow. I always called it green.
Well,
What?
It's yellow.
It's yellow. It's a lemon. What is it? Lemon,
lemon
lime?
lime.
Limes are green.
Yeah, but the inside of limes aren't green.
But the color of the
It's like-
band, the color of the band on the Gatorade is yellow.
Yeah.
It's not like it's green.
The color of the drink
The
is
color of
yellow.
the drink and of the band,
So you wouldn't describe that as like even a little bit green?
not at
That's
all.
green Gatorade.
Not at all. Isn't there?
This is a bad take, Antonio.
Well, that's like I
Yeah,
don't know.
that's a terrible take.
You know those big pens.
Yeah.
Everyone says they're blue. I call them purple.
Are you colorblind?
Like what comes
but
out
it's
on the
blue
paper is
ink.
purple. It's purple ink.
okay, that one's less forgivable.
But they do make purple Bic pens though.
I get what he's saying. The blue,
So you're saying the blue ones?
the blue
Yeah,
one's
the blue
right.
one-
the
the
blue
pen
one's
itself
right
is
kind of
blue.
purple.
But the writing is purple.
No.
They don't write.
I call them purple.
They
pens.
don't write purple, but they write in like not the same shade blue that the pen actually is.
Yes, 100%.
That one's less forgivable. The first one's bad.
I agree with that, but it's not purple though. What I'm writing down.
All right, that little DirecTV box. You see that green dot? That is the color
Yeah.
of Gatorade. That's the color
No,
of
it's
lemon
not.
lime Gatorade.
No.
Whatever.
You're really making me do this right now.
Lemon. I don't know. Like
Nolan has turned around in his chair and is Googling lemon lime Gatorade.
If you go to mobile and you look at lemon lime Gatorade, you're gonna tell me that whole section is green, not yellow.
oh, that's green.
Wait, so you're telling me this is green?
You're telling me that's yellow?
Antonio, that's yellow, buddy.
That's a green yellow. That's right in between.
Okay, yeah, this one looks green.
That's
well, the one like. No, it's yellow.
That is a yellow lime green.
This is a discussion we're gonna have after the podcast too. We might have to go to the grocery store.
Yeah.
Well, we just
we'll go to Big Y after
Big
this.
Y.
and we'll-
Stop and Shop is open until 12.
All right, just rolling there.
No, I'm not going
not
there.
shopping.
Okay, whatever. So, what were we talking about?
Color of the Gatorade bath.
Yep.
And-
So
What we
this is Super Bowl.
Oh, we were talking about who was wearing what uniform.
oh yeah, San
That-
Francisco definitely should wear white.
Yeah, and
We've
that,
gotten off on way too many tangents this podcast.
that one we'll talk about next week when we cover our Super Bowl.
So we should say that too. So
Preview.
next week it's
Yeah,
gonna be
that's when you're gonna get our picks and all
basically
that type of jazz.
a full preview, props, break down everything. We'll
Yeah.
do next week.
Total in-depth
Yes, indeed.
Super Bowl finale.
Mr. Yankees
54.
fan, how do you feel that one person didn't vote your boyfriend into the Hall of Fame?
He's a Hall of Famer no matter what. First ballot, high 90%.
Derek Jeter. We're
That's-
talking about.
That's pretty ridiculous. That
It
one.
sucks, and there's always that one guy that is like, oh yeah, I just want to be different.
It's the
Oh,
same
are
guy.
you
With,
talking
Whatever,
about Colin
man.
Coward?
it's the same guy with Mariano Rivera, right? It was only 1% that didn't vote Rivera.
He said he was gonna not vote Rivera, but Rivera ended up being unanimous.
Oh, was he really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't
What-
know. I thought he got one vote. I thought one
That's-
person didn't vote him.
I mean, but if you were going to tell me, the years of them going to the Hall of Fame, whether I think who's got a better chance of being unanimous, Jeter or Mariano, I would have said Mariano because he's the best ever at his position, and no one's going to come close to that.
In no way, shape, or form.
Jeter should have been unanimous, but I really don't care.
In no way, shape, or form am I saying he's not a Hall of Famer because of this, but some people I've seen lately have been knocking his defensive skills and saying he was like a below average defender. And I'm not saying at all like I would negate that from his resume, but maybe for whatever reason, the one person who voted on it said like, well, if you look at his defensive WAR and all this and blah, 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 he was below average. I'm just not voting him. I like if he like got called out for it, I bet that would be like his excuse or like what he would say.
What they don't look at is they pay too much attention to like the stats and overall. And yeah, there's always going to be that one that's always like a quirky Tumblr girl that wants to go on the other side and is like, oh, well, you know, he wasn't a good defender. It's like, overall impact on the game of baseball.
He just won games for them.
No one is more notorious than Derek Jeter. Like
Number two.
When you think of Yankees baseball, you think of Derek Jeter.
Yeah.
You think of a lot of guys.
It's like
if you're from this generation,
but like in this generation, this day and age, you think of Derek Jeter.
Well, the new stadium is the house that Jeter built. So.
And it's like you look at the Red Sox, you think Big Papi.
Yep.
You look at the Patriots, you think Tom Brady. You look at the Giants, you think Eli Manning. There's just those guys on each team. You look at the Warriors, you think Steph Curry. That's just what happens.
Playing baseball as a kid, what's the first number that was taken in every Little League pretty much?
2.
Number 2. 80% of the time is the first jersey taken right off the board.
He was looked up to by literally every kid that's a Yankees fan.
Mm-hmm.
So,
that's just the Yankees. Our biggest star is always a class act. Move on to Aaron Judge.
Yeah, Aaron Judge.
Have they tested his pee lately, or I don't know?
I don't know. People love to say that about Yankees players ever since Alex Rodriguez
and Jason Giambi.
Yep.
But yeah, you never know. I mean, I can't really say anything with my manager being thrown out of the lead basically because he was cheating. But
you guys are gonna have fun with that. Ever since A-Rod, I hear every time one Yankee player starts to like play good, they're all doing steroids. Now it's gonna be anytime the Red Sox win a game, better check their dugout for monitors and cameras.
You know, Maz on Felder and Maz. He was jokingly saying A-Rod as the Red Sox manager. Imagine how much of a troll that
I think
a
lot of people were thinking Jason Varitek, which I am totally for.
A lot of people said Tech, but the reason
that'd be a good hire.
The reason I would not want Tech is just because and Carabas said this too. He is like such a respected, like everybody loves Jason
what
Varitek.
happens if they suck?
That's
right?
the problem. If they go out there and go like 71 and 91 next year, like that.
I feel like the Cubs have a similar situation to that though with David Ross, another catcher. Everyone loves him.
Let's see how this goes. I love that hire though. By the way,
everyone loves David.
They're going to be
Ross
kissing each other in the dugout next year. Like, all the Cubs players.
And that's what I think. Like say you hire Jason Varitek, right? It's kind of hard to turn on him, even for like a Boston market. Yeah, it's really hard to turn on him.
You know who I'd like to see coaching that team? And his name's not in the ring anywhere. Euclid. I'd love to see Kevin Euclid.
Kevin Euclid.
Oh my god!
When the Yankees got him, I was so pissed. I'm like,
that was a weird time.
Euclid is your textbook Red Sox. Annoying beard, annoying batting stance, dickhead who's going to charge the pitcher all the time.
The king of walks,
king of hit pitches too.
So when we were talking about last week, the Beltran thing, Beltran was in the Yankees front office last year.
He was.
He was.
Oh, no.
He was.
That's insane.
I'm not getting investigated.
You guys just love skating by that MLB.
But what I heard lately is that, like...
That's just so funny for the Mets, though. Yeah. That is so funny that the Mets hire him and then have to let him go 2 days later. No,
the other New York team's getting shit on because of the whole Carlos Beltran thing. That's so funny.
Yankees are laughing at
them. The thing about the Mets, I will never understand. They have a great team.
Oh my! No, this year it's good. Like this will finally be the year that they
should make the World Series, dude.
They really should. I was gonna say, win it, but that's a lot.
You're telling me
that division's tough.
DeGrom, Syndergaard. Do they have what's his face? Stroman.
Yep, Marcus Stroman's right.
Do they still have Wheeler?
Wheeler's gone. But the back end of their rotation,
like the Atlanta Falcons.
Back end of the rotation's not terrible. They have some really good.
They need bullpen. Players. They should just send every.
Hold on. I mean, they got Edwin Diaz. I mean, like if he can pitch like the way he did before this year, he was terrible this year. If the Mets didn't blow the amount of saves they did, they would have by far and away have had the best.
Correct. That's why you need a new closer.
Edwin Diaz is still obviously a talented player. I think they're gonna, still try it out. But if not, you could move
He
Seth.
blew like 13 saves.
If
last
not,
year.
you can, try and have him as a setup guy. You can have Seth Lugo try and come in close games. You could have Betances try and close games.
They signed Betances.
Yeah,
I forgot about.
they're gonna have their bullpen is not gonna be as bad this year. I think they're gonna have a really good team. It's just a testament to that division. That division is gonna be
brutal.
hell.
I mean, yeah, you got 14.
I'm
everyone
high
other
on the
than
Phillies.
Marlins.
I'm high on the Braves. I'm not as high on the Braves this year as I have been in the past, but
They
they're
signed-
still a very highly talented team.
They signed Felix Hernandez to a minor league deal.
They did.
I like that.
I am huge on the Mets this year, and then they're still the defending champions. That's something.
I feel like they're gonna be fun to watch next year. The Nationals.
Oh,
I
yeah.
feel like they're gonna be in just fuck you guys mode. Like we beat the team that was cheating. Like we're the best ever.
aw.
Like they're gonna play. They're gonna play with some swagger next year, even without
Their
Rendon.
team slogan should be "Aw."
Yeah.
Oh, I could still, even though there's per se better rosters still in that National League East, I still think that that's a second place team.
So
Who's
did you-
playing? Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Who's playing third for them?
I'm not sure.
They don't. I don't think they have like anyone like that great. Honestly, I mean, like obviously they had Rendon, but I don't know if they had like someone in waiting to play third. I know Zimmerman can move over there, but I don't think they have like a first baseman.
Yeah, well, that was the other thing I was going to say. Maybe they got a backup, just like a utility guy that's kind of played throughout the year, who does play a lot. Maybe stick him at third, kind of. I don't know.
Did you see the same thing that I saw where they were talking about the whole cheating thing in Alex Cora? How like the Red Sox, I wouldn't say like they're like the Red Sox didn't do anything wrong, but like is not anywhere compared to what the Astros were doing.
It's still they're still
I haven't
investigating.
Yeah, I know. I haven't seen like the full report. or
What I
anything.
heard is that like they're investigating the Red Sox and they're not finding anything.
So I heard that they were in the replay room, but I don't think they did any like banging on the trash can type shit
or like buzzers.
Oh, they weren't doing buzzers or anything. Maybe Alex
which is
Cora
still a
was doing
conspiracy,
his thing.
right? They haven't found anything on that either.
Altuve not wanting to take his jersey off.
Yeah, I know. I've seen all of like the videos and pictures.
He
and
literally
everything.
he points at whoever said it to him and he wags his finger and he just shakes his head and he like points at where the buzzer would be and he just
And
like
did you see what he said after? Like after
he goes,
the
"My
game?
wife's shy," or my wife tells me-
didn't like it the
Yeah.
last time I did it, or something like that.
Ugh.
I was like, yo, like that was the lamest excuse.
They're gonna get thrown at so much next year.
How funny is
That's
that going
another
to be?
thing too that I wanted to talk about. Like how many brawls in
It's gonna be
but
like
the Astros can't even get mad at that point.
it's
though.
gonna be old pitchers that are gonna be like dead off my lawn.
It's just going to be depending on
Like
who the batter
Alex
is.
Wood.
I don't think.
I hated that tweet, by the way. He said I'd rather throw to people who've taken steroids than people who have no.
that is a true statement.
That
for
is
an
a
MLB pitcher,
100%
though.
true statement.
That-
Oh my
But he
God.
literally said I'd rather throw to someone who can hit anything than throw to someone who can hit
Me
anything.
too, because he doesn't know that you're gonna. When you're taking steroids, like there's still so much skill that's involved in guessing.
If you
the
know exactly
pitches.
where the pitch is gonna be and what type of pitch it is, you have way more of an advantage than if you're taking steroids.
I'm just saying though. I don't know. I didn't like that tweet. That was a very I don't know, sassy tweet to me. Like,
It was, but I agree with him.
It
and I
was.
saw another thing too that someone in Los Angeles council voted to get the
The title strip from the
Screw that.
Astros.
and
No.
give them to the Dodgers.
That's such a Dodgers.
Fuck
Go-
off.
go
They're
kick
so-
rocks.
They're so mad.
I hate a lot of sports franchises. Golden State's up there.
I despise the.
I
Dodgers,
despise the
dude.
Dodgers.
The Dodgers
The
is
Dodgers
way
might
up
be number
there.
one for me.
I've never heard a more
Pathetic team.
pathetic, awe sort of situation than that when I saw that.
It's
today.
like, what's your legacy of the 2010s? Postseason failure.
Just choking.
And then
Live
okay,
with
you
it.
strip the titles and you give them to the Dodgers.
Everyone's
gonna look at
yeah,
that as-
everyone's gonna make fun of you,
You
for
won
it
the
anyway.
title by
Congratulations.
default.
What are you gonna have a
won.
parade?
I hope they
Yeah, are
do.
they
That
gonna
would
throw
be
two
great.
parades because of the no? Fuck off.
Justin Turner's on there, like yeah.
Speaking of LA, Jaylen Brown literally put his nuts all over LeBron James last night.
First of all, I'm a Lakers fan. It is bullshit that that's a technical foul. It's just because the league kisses LeBron's ass like they always have. You can't touch, your biggest moneymaker. It's crap. That was so stupid.
As a Lakers fan, this is a very important question. Do you want Kyle Kuzma? Do you not want Kyle Kuzma? Because there are games where he goes out there and he puts up 20, 25 points, and he's the difference. But then there are games where he scores 4, and you're like, what did he do for us?
He's a young player with with potential. I don't want to trade him, and I'm scared of if they do trade him, what they'd be getting back. Because if it's a LeBron team, most likely it's going to be
a shooter,
older,
like an old shooter.
Yeah, it's going to be a shooter.
Someone
Kind of not
now.
like super old, but guys who have been in the league for a few years and are mostly role players. Kuzma's a guy. He's very young, who could be the next star. Because LeBron, he's 35, right?
He's old.
He just turned 35.
Either 34 or 35. Yeah.
What if something happens and he's done by 40? Kyle Kuzma's a young kid. By that time, he'll be 26, 27. Who knows? Maybe he turns into a star and is an elite scorer in the league.
And maybe having LeBron there, they're going to go deep into the playoffs. He'll get that playoff experience as well.
Yeah.
So once LeBron is gone, he'll be ready for anything.
Do you have any cause for concern over this game? Or is it just like another
No,
regular season
it's
game?
regular season basketball. The Lakers gave up 139. It was obviously a terrible defensive performance. And one thing that I really preach with the Lakers this year is defense. And they're second in the league in defense right now.
Well,
Obviously,
they're playing hard
night,
every game. It's not like they're really a typical LeBron team. They would play hard a couple games, but then you would have a 5-game stretch.
This is way different than most years. They might end up with the best record in the NBA, and you haven't seen a LeBron team do that since what? Did they even do that with the Heat? The first year, maybe? That was it?
I think 1 or 2 years they did. But since then...
he won 67 games with Cleveland one year, and that was it for 1 seed LeBron.
So I'm not going to say don't try to win games, but at the same time, if it's going to be you and the Clippers, why are you really going for home court?
Mm-hmm. If you're the Lakers, you're pretty much going to have home court, even if the Clippers are technically the home team in that game. It's a Lakers city.
I can't stand this Denver thing. Denver's going to go in the playoffs and get their shit slapped. It's going to come down to either Clippers. I want to say Utah for some reason.
Utah's really good.
You know who's a perfect comparison to the Denver Nuggets? The Philadelphia Flyers.
Okay.
Why do they win so much?
It's just regular season. They just do well, and then I feel all right.
I like
Denver,
them to go farther. I like them
good.
better than the Rockets this year.
Who, Denver?
Yeah,
I disagree.
I think they'd beat Houston in a playoff series.
I disagree. I think who is a bad matchup for the Houston, or do you know who a good matchup for the Houston Rockets is? Probably the team they're end up playing, the Clippers. Every time that they've played the Clippers this year, the Clippers struggle with them for whatever reason. I don't know if it's the style of offense, how many threes they shoot, how fast they play. If I'm the Clippers, I don't want to play the Rockets. That's the one team I don't want to play.
I love when you're both talking about it, and then you both stop and just look at me, and I'm just sitting over here yeah.
When I look at you, you're looking at me.
Well, all right. If we're really making a list of who can make the finals out of the West, Lakers.
There's a hell of a lot of teams in the West, but finals teams.
Lakers, Clippers.
Yeah, I love the Jazz. They're not going to get to the finals. NBA is not going to let Utah get to the finals. The NBA is not going to let Denver get to the finals.
They would maybe let Houston.
I was going to say maybe Houston, but
I don't think that's going to happen.
Houston's just not good enough. So
who else is Dallas? It's just not their year, I guess.
They're exciting though.
They're definitely exciting, but I think
that's the kind of team that'll that can make playoff run.
They're a year or two away, but when Doncic really he's what, 20?
I mean, yeah, he's developed quite a bit already.
Oh yeah, but it's scary to think what he could be in 5 years.
Is he 20 or 21?
I think he's 20.
That's crazy.
I think he turned 20 recently.
On the flip side, great win for the Celtics. I mean, they were losing 3. I think they lost 3 in a row before that game, and 6 out of 8, and they weren't really playing
beating
too
the
well.
shit out of one of the best teams in the NBA will give you some confidence.
That's definitely a game you can build moving forward, and that's one game you can look back in the season and be like, hey, we took care of business on our home court, and
against historic rival, and it's as Lakers fan. It
And,
sucks
like,
losing to the Celtics.
possibly
You want to beat them.
an NBA Finals,
I hope
preview.
so. I really do.
That would be a great series. I have I said before when we did our first podcast, I said 76ers Lakers, which
I said Clippers Lakers.
Clippers Lakers.
Yeah,
Really? That'd be an interesting finals.
I just think the Clippers are better than the Lakers.
Antonio.
all around.
They're both in the Western Conference.
Clippers,
They can't play in the
Lakers?
finals.
Oh, I didn't say Clippers Celtics.
No.
You said Clippers,
I said
Lakers.
Clippers Lakers. Didn't you reply with that would be a good finals?
I know. I was making fun of it.
Being facetious.
Mwah.
But yeah. Clippers Celtics would be good too.
Yeah. Well,
I don't think that they could get over the
Snucks.
Bucks.
no,
You know who's a terrible matchup for the Bucks is the Sixers. That's a team that the Bucks don't want to see. That's
the
the only.
last time they played it. Giannis.
The
didn't
the Bucks would lose to the Sixers. The Bucks would put their foot in Boston's ass. Literally put their foot in upside down in Boston.
What? No, Boston kicks their ass every time they play. Come on.
If they have a series, we'll bet on that.
Yeah, we can. I just. Oh.
Milwaukee will fist them really hard.
Oh yeah, Milwaukee would fist the Celtics, but not the Sixers.
Sixers would beat Milwaukee in a 7-game series.
I don't want to see the Sixers in the finals. That'd be gross.
Dude, because they
That'd
have
be disgusting.
literally every player on their team is 6'10", and you can throw your whole team at Giannis. the
Oh,
whole
if
game.
Ben Simmons was on that team, I'd probably like him a lot more.
It's just the whole Ben Simmons and Joel thing. It always comes back.
Oh,
back to that.
I like Joel a lot. I
Joel's
just
the
don't
guy
like
who
Ben.
can't really stay healthy.
Do you trade one of them? Because at this point, I would trade Joel. Honestly,
I want Ben Simmons off my team.
I want Ben Simmons
Me
playing
too.
center for my team. A point center in today's NBA.
Can he just not even that, man? Can he just be aggressive, please? Like I
You
can't
threw
tell
me
you.
off
you
with
can't
that,
be-
so I didn't know. What
I
to
can't
say.
tell you how many times.
You can't be aggressive when Joel Embiid is clogging the paint 80% of the time.
Well, yeah, but like, when he drives, like, do you see him? Look at his length. That's like a combination of LeBron and Giannis with your body. It's just you're not like as built, but it's still incredibly gifted, and he's huge.
If that kid ever gets a decent jumper, game over.
Yeah, but he drives.
He hasn't had one yet.
Okay,
he's had
he
like
drives,
4
he's
years
got
in
these-
the NBA.
No, he's been in for what? 3? 4? Is it 4? How old
But
is he?
think about,
22?
I
think
think
about
this
the
is
years
4.
of basketball that he's played.
He's got 15 years left in the NBA to get a jump shot. I'm sure at some point he will start shooting.
He's had 25 years to have a jump
Yeah,
shot.
but hold
and he
on.
hasn't
Before
had one
jump
yet.
shot, can we be aggressive around the rack, please? I can't tell you how many times a guy with this length and this body, he gets so close to the hoop. Literally, it looks like he can place the ball right off the backboard into the basket, and he passes out every
I'm
single
just
time.
scared of Joel's health, dude. Joel wants to tear his Achilles or tear his meniscus every season for the next 10. That's
his
just how he
finger
is.
backwards.
That is just, bro. I'm not he's just one of those big men that gets hurt a lot.
Yeah.
Maybe get rid of both of them. Honestly, I can't get over having a guy on my team that can't shoot.
The worst contract of all time was signing Al Horford and Tobias Harris. I don't know what that
Al
was.
Horford was a terrible.
That was a bad
signing for them.
signing. That signing makes no sense for that team.
Because he has some good games and then he has some terrible games, and you're like, why did we sign?
That's
this
not
guy?
what you need, though. They should have re-signed Jimmy and let go of Tobias and Al.
But Jimmy wanted out of there.
They said Jimmy wanted out of there if Tobias was staying. They said it was Jimmy or Tobias, and they took Tobias and Al Horford over Jimmy.
That's crazy to me. Miami, on the other hand,
Has been
they're
playing
a
great.
sleeper. I think I said that in the first episode. I was like, I could definitely see Miami being, because I mean the East is so bad.
I mean, yeah, they're gonna be
Because
good.
like Brooklyn has the last spot right now, right?
Ugh.
Like,
Imagine-
I don't want to see Brooklyn.
Imagine if
win.
KD just came back for the playoffs, just as Grim Reaper.
They were saying that he's making some strides. I don't know if they said he'd come back for the end of the season. I know they kind of trumped that in the beginning, but
That
I
would
don't think he
be
will.
they're starting to
insane.
talk about it again. I think now that they have a lot of belief that they're gonna make the playoffs.
That'd be, you know what? That would be really cool.
he would come
Kevin
back just
Durant
for the playoffs
comes in.
too.
They're the 8 seed. Imagine they're the 8 seed.
And they play Milwaukee.
Yeah, they
Milwaukee
play
would not
Milwaukee
be
in the
happy.
final.
Milwaukee wouldn't be happy. No.
So Milwaukee would have to go through them, then Philly, then Boston to get to the finals. That would be insane.
Well, who would Boston play right now? If
Boston's 2 or 3.
So who's
Philly's 2. I want to.
who's
I'm gonna look up the
who's
standings
7
really
and
quick.
6?
Are the Magic still? relevant, kind of.
They're in like the 7th spot.
I mean, if you're
Is
not
it the
if you're not
Pacers?
top
Is it
3
the
in the East, I don't
Pacers?
think you're very relevant. Oh yeah, Pacers are in the mix.
Bucks, Heat, Raptors, Celtics, 76ers, Pacers, Magic, Nets. So the Celtics, 1, 2, 3, 4. They would play the 5. They would play the 76ers in the first round.
Oh, so they're 4.
Yep. Raptors.
Wait, Miami's 2?
Miami's 2. 30 and 13.
And honestly, too, Tyler Hero is amazing.
Their whole team
Kendrick
is just
Nunn,
filled with
Jimmy
shooters.
Butler, Goran Dragic has been a really good player pretty much ever since
Because
he came
they
up.
have that ability where like they just get out of Jimmy Butler's way. And I think that's all what Jimmy Butler wants. He's just like, get out of my way. Like, just let me take it to the bucket. And then they have the shooters around them to like sink the threes. So Miami's scary good, bro.
Clippers beat the Mavericks tonight, 110-107. Luka was not able
Probably a good
to.
game to watch.
Yeah, I think TNT it was on. I didn't see any of it, but good win for. I feel like the Clippers show up in big games. I feel like when they need to play well, and they didn't even have Paul George tonight either.
Is it just when
Just had a funny feeling
they're
that would be the way
deciding
the
not to rest
Clippers are.
Kawhi? Is that what happens?
Kawhi actually played tonight, which is surprising.
So that's probably why they won. Like they're like, oh, we're playing a good team. Yeah, Kawhi, get in there.
Doncic had a great effort. Almost.
Which I
won
mean,
the
a lot of
triple-double.
people get mad about them resting Kawhi. It works though.
If he's trying to keep winning titles, then I have no problem with it.
Like if they win the title this year, they're gonna prove
the
that it works.
the real problem is not him sitting. The real problem is the NBA regular season should not be 82 games.
No, it shouldn't be
Because the product they put out
Maybe-
there, 50% of the time is really bad.
garbage. I hate watching NBA.
You got to go to like 64 games and then like a play-in tournament for the like last playoff spot or something.
Kind of like what is it, the NIT tournament for the
Yes.
kind of like that. I don't know if you could do that though, just because it's 16 and 16, and then what would you have? What would you have? 8 and how many teams would you have in the tournament?
You would
Like
have
4 and 4. Or
you'd
2
have-
and 2.
8, 9, 10, 11. 8 plays 11, 9 plays 10. You'd have 4 teams on each side in the tournament.
I could see that working.
You have like 8 play 11, 10 play 9, and then the winner of that plays for the last spot. Or you do
Have
like
they even discussed changing the format at all?
they want to change the format, but the owners won't vote on it because they don't want to lessen the regular season because then that cuts into like their
Yeah, it
earnings.
cuts in their TV money and all
Yep.
that stuff. But the ratings probably aren't as good as they have been in the past.
NBA ratings have been down the last 2 seasons, I think.
People are tired of it. People are tired of the NBA.
It's just a flopping league.
It really is. Same with I think like the NHL has kind of discussed this too, where they want to change the format of their point system in the standings, where it's like a 3-2-1 system, where you get 3 points for like a win in regular time, 2 points if you win in overtime,
1 point for overtime loss,
1 point for overtime loss.
regardless of shootout or extra time.
And they wanted to do, or no, what is it? It's something different. I don't know, but then they would say you don't get a point for an overtime loss or something like that. So then, like, there's different scenarios that they're running through. I don't know. I don't know if it would help or not, but like they have to have their negotiations at the end of the season. To
A lot of these regular seasons are too long. Like MLB, like it's always going to be 162
MLB's
games.
always too long, but they're too set in their ways
Yeah.
to change it.
Yes, we are.
But at the
We
same
are too
time,
set in our ways.
all right, you got to stand out there for 162 games. At least they're getting paid for it. Like these diesel contracts that these guys are getting, aka Mike Trout. Or
Well, yeah,
Mookie.
because
NBA players complain about everything because they're NBA players, but they a lot of them have complained about the length of the NBA season. You rarely hear MLB players talk about the length of their season.
yeah, because it's not as gruesome as like
Yeah, it's not as gruesome and demanding, but
you literally just stand in center field and wait for a fly ball.
yeah, and then like you're sitting in the
I'm
dugout. half the
surprised there
time.
hasn't been as many player complaints about it. But
And then you're just sitting in the dugout you're literally sitting in the dugout for half the game
Yeah.
until it's your turn to bat or you're playing out in the field. It's like 162 games is way too long though.
We gotta figure
Whatever.
out like the ideal number for like each sport. What is the ideal number?
I think I don't know, maybe like a nice even 100 for baseball.
no,
Maybe like a 108.
142.
You'd only touch it at, like, what, 18? Or 20? That's still too many.
Whatever.
I don't know. Like, does
Antonio
baseball,
doesn't care.
like, baseball's on literally every night.
Yeah. I'm fine with watching the Yankees every. If I'm at home, I have nothing to do. Boom, Yankees.
And I think that's how they're able to get these monster contracts is like people still watch baseball.
Everyone, like, not everyone, but certain people who love baseball love
Because a lot of like the older people, like they love baseball because that's what they've grown up with, and they love baseball.
It's become a lot more localized. Like,
Yeah.
if you're, a Yankees fan, you don't know what the hell is going on with the Padres.
With the Angels.
Now football needs to have
Exactly.
a longer season.
With football, you're a Giants fan, but
So
you
why-
know exactly who like the second linebacker on the San Diego Chargers
Supply and demand. That's why the NFL is so, like,
The
fascinating.
the NFL is refined. Like we get just enough to satisfy us because it's once a
but
week,
not too much.
but not too much.
And that's why they're scared to go to, like, more, like, Friday night games or Wednesday night games or all
But
games.
that's
of the
why
week.
I think the XFL is going to work because they start it right after the NFL. People are like, "What do we do now? There's no football." But the key
Is it Sundays?
I think it's gonna be Friday and Saturday if I'm not mistaken.
You can't do that. If it was on Sunday,
I don't know for sure. I'm not for sure, but like the thing is though, starting it a week after the NFL ends is perfect.
That's a power move.
If they waited till like the beginning of March, no one would care. But the fact that people are gonna be like, "Damn,
Right
there's no
after.
more football,"
And then they see
and then
that.
they're like, "Oh, the XFL." Like you can watch like a toned down version of the NFL
I like that.
because they have some talent in the XFL. Like I've looked at, they got what's the name of the quarterback from like Michigan State? Cook.
Connor Cook, right?
Connor Cook, yeah. So like
Started a playoff game and got railed.
they have some talent. Like obviously like not top of the line talent like the NFL has, but you're gonna watch it. Sal,
entertainment.
you're gonna watch it.
Oh, 100%.
I'm gonna watch it.
I'm gonna
Antonio's
gamble
gonna
on
watch
it. Over first game, they need to draw
If
people
it has
in.
a ball, rules, and referees, Sal is betting on it.
100%.
Did you gamble AAF?
No. You know what I did
It didn't
gamble on?
last long enough for Sal to bet on.
You know what I did gamble on? Packers +9, $500 parlay,
Yeah.
and it ended up being not good because Aaron Rodgers is a piece of shit.
Didn't I say that too when you sent that to me? I was like, Green
I sent
Bay's
it to
gonna be the
Nolan,
one that
and
does it.
Nolan's like, "Yeah, funny because they're
remember-
gonna get blown out."
I remember saying before I picked the Packers, the smart pick is the Niners spread.
The smart pick
I
is
was
the
right about that.
The smart pick is the Niners, but at the same time, like you are taking 9 points with Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
More times than not, that should work out.
I wanted Green Bay.
Not when they're a fraud like they were this year.
If you just made some throws and
Now
didn't
you
blame
learn
his
your
teammates.
lesson not to take Green Bay in those big games.
Yeah, but now next year they're going to be good again.
And then they're
I'm-
gonna win.
And I'm going to be thinking like, no, dude, everyone was talking about how much of frauds they are they were last year, so they're going to keep being great this year, and everyone else is going to be like, no, frauds again.
I
And
could
then
so-
they're going to lose
Green
again.
Green Bay
in the
Super Bowl
NFC
confirmed
Championship.
next year.
No,
No,
I
they're
could
gonna
so
do
see them going and doing the same exact thing next year.
Yeah.
Going
With,
13
the
and
select
3,
people being like,
maybe
no,
get a
not
1 or a
this
2
year.
seed, lose in the NFC Championship game.
The reason I don't see that is just gonna have to play a first place schedule, and some of those NFC teams are gonna
Yep.
slap them around. Like Saints probably slap them around. 49ers probably slap them around.
Dude, what are the Saints going to do?
Resign.
That's what I don't get. Everyone's talking about Tom Brady. No one's talking about what Drew Brees is going to do.
He's just gonna go
Yeah,
back.
he's just going to come back and play. There's no reason
What if
not
he
to.
doesn't?
Where's he? He's not leaving.
There's no
That's
reason
one
not
player
to.
that's not leaving is Drew Brees.
Yeah,
I know, but like I just find it surprising that no one has said a word.
Drew
about it.
Brees is like that girl that's like been dating that guy for like 15 years and no one talks to. Like, Drew Brees is not leaving the Saints. I can
There's no
promise you
reason
that.
for him to retire. There's no reason for the Saints not to bring him back.
Drew Brees outside
He's-
a dome too is disgusting. Like literally the worst quarterback ever. Not
I
actually,
don't
but
wanna
it's
think
just funny to
about
say.
I don't understand. Like
But the way
Tom
he-
Brady is so New England Patriots. So like, why are people making such a big
It's
deal?
just the way he's been playing. He's
Because
he's
Tom wants to get horny for a year. That's why.
Drew's
But
still
you know
one of
what
the
it
five,
is, though?
one of the league's 5 best quarterbacks. And he was
Drew has
this year.
been. Drew had fun when he was 20, and now he's settled in. Tom has been with the same girl forever. Tom wants to have a little fun at
No,
the
he
end.
hasn't. He got divorced.
No, the Patriots. He's been with the same girl
Oh, well,
since
yeah.
the beginning.
Oh, I thought you were actually like.
No, Drew Drew in the beginning was with what? He went to L.A.
He was drafted by San Diego.
And then he went to Miami, right? And then he went to the Saints.
He was gonna go to Miami. Nick Saban got the Miami job, and they wanted to no. So they were thinking about signing Drew, and they didn't want to. They ended up getting someone else. I don't know if they signed someone else. I don't know, but New Orleans ended up getting him, and Miami missed out.
So my point being,
Tom Brady was for what, a year or two?
Tom Brady has never had a secondary experience.
Guys, imagine if the Dolphins did end up getting Breeze, and it was Saban and Breeze, and then
that was the
and
dynasty.
Brady.
That would
have been crazy for the AFC East.
They would have had some real competition.
That would have been nuts.
That would have been one of the best rivalries in the history of rivalries.
Saban versus Belichick.
But what Tom Brady posted on his Instagram story today, someone had carved into I forget what the name of the park is in Boston, but they carved in the snow, stay Tom or whatever, please stay or whatever it said. Tom put it on his Instagram story and said, love you all, right?
That makes it seem like he's leaving though, doesn't it?
No, it doesn't. It said, stay Tom. It didn't say, we love you, Tom. Like, it's different. You know what I mean? I think this whole thing, right, him being dodgy about it, him avoiding all the questions, I think it's just so that the Patriots will pay him. He finally wants to get paid.
He done.
No, he's not.
He done.
Nope, he's not.
What?
I think this whole thing is just to build leverage so that Bob Kraft brings out the checkbook and finally Brady gets paid what he deserves.
I could see him on those either Las Vegas Raiders or Los Angeles Chargers. Either one of those teams makes sense to me.
I really don't want to see him. The only team
that has ever made sense to me is the Chargers.
I don't want to see him go there.
They had a good. He's got Hunter Henry to throw to. He's got Eckler to throw to. He's got Keenan Allen to throw to. He's got Mike Williams to throw to. Like, that's a team, dude.
Yeah, Mike Williams it's a team, but it's the Chargers, and I don't want to see
Mike Williams with Tom Brady would be the best receiver ever, dude.
Those players would be fun if they weren't the Chargers.
Mike Williams hates staying healthy, though.
Just throw him a jump ball once a game, and he'll catch it.
See, if all those exciting players weren't in the Chargers, now it'd be talking.
That is the only team that made. Everyone said Chicago. No, he's not going to Chicago.
He's not going to Chicago, but that would also make sense.
He's not going to Chicago. He's not going to Tennessee.
He's going to a place that has.
It is only.
He likes
LA.
Mike Vrabel.
It's only LA.
That would be a pretty good offensive situation. They got some really good young receivers.
That offensive line is really good too.
He's either pulling a LeBron or he's staying in the Patriots. My guess is that he's staying in the Patriots. He's going to get a huge payday. He's going to become the number one paid quarterback in football.
What? Yeah, but if he gets a huge payday and they give him a massive contract, Belichick's going to want to go. Because what are you going to do after that when you give all your money to a 43-year-old? That's fine, but Belichick's not going to go
coach somewhere else. He's old. He's grumpy.
Then if you sign Brady and give him a massive contract like that, guess what? You're probably going to suck next year because you can't put that money anywhere else.
I don't think Brady cares at this point.
You're not going to put it toward receivers because, one, you don't have receivers. Two, you don't have the money for the receivers. You're just going to bank on whatever the hell you did last year trying to work this year.
He's going to get paid.
We will see.
It's either the Chargers or he's getting paid. That's the only two things that's happening. Bob Kraft is pulling out the checkbook and giving him a blank check pretty much, saying, Tom, write a number down. Whatever it is, we'll cash it. All right. So last topic that we're going to get to is you want to talk about the NFL draft in Vegas.
Okay, listen to this. They're going to have a platform on the Bellagio water, and they're going to boat draft picks up as they're announced.
Yeah.
That's insanity. That's like the best thing ever, though. Like, imagine how like entertaining that's going to be. Like watching.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna have it in Vegas, you might as well go all the way to the top.
Like that's just such a Vegas thing to do, though.
Yeah. So for people who don't know, the Bellagio is probably the most renowned casino in Vegas, one of the top casinos on the Strip. And anytime you see Vegas and you see that giant water fountain of water shooting out, that's the Bellagio. And that they're going to have a platform in the middle of the fountain and have the draft picks on a boat, probably like a remote control like boat thing, come out and bring the picks to the platform.
I can't wait for it to break in the middle of the TV cast and the draft.
Yeah.
Sorry, we can't tell you who the Colts are going to pick this.
That's just different. They know that they can put the platform there because Drake Drake did a performance on the BET Awards a couple years ago in the fountain. So like, okay, we could put a stage out there, but the whole boat thing with the picks coming, like, you don't have to do that.
They're just begging for something to go wrong. Like, imagine if, like, the boat capsizes on my
Or imagine
TV.
like the stage breaks or something. Like,
yeah, dude. Like, that would
there's
be
way too much margin for error. Like, you could just have it in a ballroom like you normally do.
They set the over under for how many draft picks would fall in the water, and it was 1.5. So imagine 2 people falling in the water, dude.
Wait, like, are they gonna have? Wait, they're gonna have the people who got drafted ride on the boat?
Yes.
Oh, I was thinking
Oh.
something totally different.
Yeah, I thought
If
like
you
like
get
an
drafted,
envelope was about to
if you get drafted, they boat you up to the stage and shake hands with Roger
okay,
Goodell.
that is completely different. I thought you meant like there'd be like a
Like an envelope with the player
envelope
name in
that
it?
like came out.
No.
Like, oh my god, no, that's way different.
yeah, the more you think about that, it
they
makes no
announce your
sense.
name and then they boat you up to the stage. Like, how fucking funny is that?
Okay, yeah, no, there are definitely more than 2 people
Falling in the water.
falling in the water.
No one's gonna fall in the water.
One person is gonna fall in the water. That's what's
player?
gonna happen.
You think a player is gonna fall in the water?
One person's gonna fall in the water, and then it's gonna set the tone for the rest of the day.
Or maybe like the other person that they have just
It's
in
gonna-
case like something goes wrong, that person's gonna
It's gonna
fall.
be like some reporter from some like mid-level website that like falls in the water.
some draft pick's gonna jump in for no reason. He's just gonna be
Yeah.
like, yeah,
No, you're right.
just ruin his suit.
Like someone
wow,
like
that makes it totally different.
some white like
When is it? You said May?
I think it's April or May. I don't know. Do you know when the NFL draft is?
I don't know, but some white like offensive lineman's gonna be like, yeah,
Yeah,
after he got drafted in the 4th round and just jump
Yo.
out in the water.
That would be so funny.
2020 NFL draft.
April 21st, maybe.
Ooh, you were close. April 23rd
Yep.
to the 25th.
I think it's April 23rd.
Good one, Antonio.
In Vegas. Wait, let's see if they say anything about it. Oh, wow. They have a picture. Oh, wow. They have like a video of it.
Really?
Like a simulation of what they want.
You little
It all comes back to the simulation every time.
Well, not what I meant. Wait, let's see this. Oh my god. No, this is crazy. All right, we'll look at this after, but like that is fucking crazy. To have the draft pick. I mean, it looks like on here that it's not going to be a long way. Like they won't be boated out like a very long way, but still like that's fucking crazy.
That is crazy.
And it looks like the stage is going to be like close to like the street where people watch the fountain.
They got it all figured out. I'm not worried.
And there's going to be like platforms though where people can walk on from. I don't know. That seems just way over the top. They don't need to do that.
It's the NFL.
Literally no one asked.
I don't know. I like that. I think that's cool.
I think the players are gonna get pissed. I think why the hell do I have to get on this boat?
Right? All right, guys. I think this was a...
All right. We're
Great
going to wrap
pod.
it up.
Yeah, it was a fun one.
Next week, Super Bowl preview,
props, bets,
picks,
yeah.
spreads,
Whatever.
who we think's going to win, who's wearing the whites,
anything Super Bowl.
what the spread's going to be. Super Bowl. That's what we're going to do.
49ers. Maybe. Probably.
A little teaser
We'll
for
talk about
next
that
week.
next week.
Alrighty. See you later, gentlemen.